My name is Liana, and for the first time in my life, I thought I was standing at the door of a dream I had waited years to touch. A restaurant. Not just any restaurant, but a place built from my sweat, my savings, and every sacrifice I ever made. I worked in diners. I washed dishes. I served rude customers. I spent nights crying in the break room, promising myself that one day I will own my own place, my own kitchen, my own name on the sign. And finally, after years of saving, planning, and praying, that day arrived. The seller handed me the keys. They felt heavy, not like metal, but like achievement, like freedom, like victory. But little did I know, those keys would also unlock the biggest betrayal of my marriage. Soft pause. When I called my husband, David, I expected excitement.
Joy. Pride.
A hug. Maybe even a celebration. Instead, he walked into the restaurant, looked around, and said nothing. His face was stiff, unreadable. David, I asked gently, do you like it? He folded his arms. His jaw tightened. And then, he said words that sucked the air out of my lungs. My mom deserves this place, not you. For a moment, I couldn't hear anything. It felt like someone had pulled the ground from under my feet. His mom? His mom? I blinked, trying to understand. David, what are you saying? He shrugged. Coldly. Casually. As if he wasn't destroying me. My mom has always wanted a restaurant. You know that. She worked her whole life. She deserves this more. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was unbelievable. David, I used my savings, my years of work, my money, my paperwork, my loan approval.
What are you talking about?
He stepped closer, lowered his voice. Just sign the ownership transfer. Mom will run it. You can help her. Help her? In MY restaurant? Soft background, tension rises. I stared at him, and for the first time in our marriage, I didn't recognize the man standing in front of me. His eyes were distant, as if someone else was speaking through him. And that someone was his mother. The same woman who never liked me, who always compared me, who always wanted David to choose her over anything and anyone. I felt my throat tighten. My fingers shook. David, this restaurant is my dream.
You know what it means to me.
He rolled his eyes. Liana, don't start. Just sign the papers. A beat of silence. At that moment, something inside me cracked. Not anger, not heartbreak. It was something deeper. A realization. The man I loved never stood with me. He stood with his mother. And that day, I realized my dream wasn't the only thing I might lose. I might lose my marriage too. Music rises gently. But what I didn't know was that this was just the beginning. His mother had a plan, a secret, a manipulation so deep that it would push me into the biggest fight of my life. A fight not just for a restaurant, but for my respect, my identity, my voice. And, trust me, I wasn't going to lose. I went home that night with a storm inside my chest. David didn't speak to me on the drive. His hands were tight on the steering wheel, his jaw clenched, like I had done something wrong. When we entered the house, his mother was already waiting, sitting on the couch, smiling that half smile that always scared me. A smile that said, I won. Did you tell her? She asked David without even looking at me. He nodded stiffly. She turned to me slowly, her voice sweet as poison. So, Liana, when do I get the keys? I took a breath. This restaurant is mine. I bought it. I worked for it. I'm not giving it to anyone. Her smile faded. Her voice sharpened. Oh, well, honey, David told you. I deserve the restaurant. I always dreamed of owning one. And I did too, I whispered. And I worked for it. Her eyes narrowed. You're just being selfish. A good wife shares everything with her husband and his family. I stared at David. He looked away. That was my answer. I was alone. The next morning, things got worse. David's sister called. Then his aunt. Then his cousin. Every call said the same thing. Give your mother-in-law the restaurant. She raised David. She deserves this. You are younger. You can build another dream later. It wasn't advice. It was pressure. A wall closing in on me. But I refused. And that refusal made me the villain. David didn't talk to me for days. His mother walked around the house like she owned everything, slamming cabinets, sighing loudly, making sure I felt guilty. One night, as I sat alone at the table, she came to me and said, "You think you can win?" "Sweetheart," I raised David. "He will always choose me." And for the first time, I started to believe she might be right. 1 week later, I visited my restaurant again. But something was wrong.
Lights were on.
Doors unlocked. And inside, I found David's mother giving a tour to strangers. She saw me and smiled proudly. "Oh, good, you're here. These are potential staff members. I'm hiring my team." I froze. "Your team? You can't hire anyone. This restaurant is mine." She stepped close.
No, darling.
"You just think it is. Once David convinces you to sign the transfer, everything will be official." I grabbed the keys from the counter. Her eyes darkened. "You'll regret this." She stormed out. But I didn't know yet. That regret was coming sooner than I expected. That night, David came home furious. "How could you embarrass my mom like that? She was planning everything. You ruined her first day."
I stared at him, exhausted.
"Her first day? David, it's my restaurant." He slammed his fist on the table. For the first time, I flinched. "Stop saying that," he shouted. "You only bought it because I encouraged you. It's basically our restaurant, so my mom has a right to run it."
Our?
He hadn't contributed a single dollar.
Not one.
"David, I worked for this dream alone." His voice grew cold. "If you don't sign the transfer, don't expect this marriage to survive." And just like that, he walked out, left, at midnight, without a word. That night, I cried until I couldn't breathe, not because of the restaurant, but because the man I loved was turning into a stranger. 2 days later, David's mother came into my room holding documents. She placed them on the bed gently. "Sign these, dear. It's better for everyone." I looked at the papers. Property transfer agreement. Sign here. Date here. Witness here. She leaned close. "If you don't sign, David may never forgive you." Her voice was a blade, but something inside me was growing stronger.
No, y whispered.
She blinked.
No.
Her voice cracked with disbelief. "You'll ruin your marriage." I looked her dead in the eye. A marriage built on manipulation is already ruined. Her face twisted with rage. "You ungrateful girl. Do you know who I am?" I stood up slowly.
Yes.
"You are a woman who wants to steal someone else's dreams." She turned red, trembling with anger. "You will regret this." That night, as I sat alone in the living room, I heard a phone buzz in David's jacket. A message preview flashed. "Tell your mom we'll finalize the transfer this weekend." Liana won't dare resist. My heart stopped. They were planning behind my back. Before I could breathe, another message arrived.
"Don't worry.
Once the restaurant is in our name, I'll make sure she leaves."
Leaves.
Not the house. The marriage. David didn't want a wife. He wanted a silent helper. And a business his mother could control. I didn't cry. This time, I didn't break. Something inside me clicked. A voice whispered, "Fight back." The next morning, I visited a lawyer. He listened quietly as I told him everything. When I finished, he said, "Good news. The restaurant is 100% yours. You paid for everything. Your husband has zero legal claim."
Zero.
My breath returned. "And better news," he added. "If they attempt force, manipulation, or fraud, the law protects you." For the first time in weeks, I felt safe. The lawyer gave me a folder.
Keep this.
"If they try something, bring it to me." I walked out stronger. But the war wasn't over. When I returned home, David and his mother were waiting, arms crossed, faces furious. David snarled, "Where were you?" "At a lawyer's office. I said calmly. His mother gasped. A lawyer? Are you threatening us? I smiled softly.
No.
But I am protecting myself. David stepped forward. You didn't need a lawyer.
We are family.
We're supposed to share. I looked him straight in the eyes. Sharing is voluntary. Stealing is not. His mother exploded. You brat. I sacrificed my whole life for my son. I deserve that restaurant. And I deserve respect, I replied. David raised his voice louder. If you walk out with that restaurant, you walk out of this marriage.
Silence.
Then, I nodded. Okay. He froze. What? I took my bag, my keys, my papers, and I walked to the door. His mother screamed behind me. David shouted my name, but I didn't look back. Not once did I move into a small apartment above the restaurant. It was quiet, peaceful.
Mine.
I opened the windows. Let the sun shine in.
Lia candele.
And for the first time, I felt free. The next morning, I unlocked the restaurant, turned on the lights, touched the counter, ran my fingers along the walls. My dream, I whispered. My place. 2 days later, David showed up. Alone. Tired. Not angry this time. Liana, come back. We can fix this. I studied his face. He wasn't apologizing. He was begging because he had lost control. There's nothing to fix, I said softly.
He reached for my hand.
Please. My mom didn't mean. I cut him off. David, your mom didn't ruin our marriage. You did. He froze. And you didn't just choose her over me. You chose her over my dreams. He stepped back, unable to speak. I'm not coming back. I turned away. And that was the last time he ever tried. The restaurant opened 3 months later. It didn't just survive. It flourished. Customers loved the food, loved the atmosphere, loved me. One day, a woman approached me with tears in her eyes. Your story inspires me, she said. You showed me it's never too late to start again. And I realized my dream wasn't just a restaurant. It was a message, a story, a reminder. No one can take what you built with your own hands, not even the ones you love. I didn't lose a husband. I lost a cage. And I gained myself.